Picture this. A woman stands at the edge of a cliff, her hands trembling as she clutches her growing belly. The wind howls around her, carrying whispers of betrayal that cut deeper than the cold air biting her skin. She's pregnant with triplets, her life brimming with hope and love. But someone she trusted has just pushed her over the edge. Literally. This isn't some dramatic movie scene. It's real, raw, and about to take you on a journey you won't forget. What happens next will shock you, not because she survives against all odds, but because of what she does afterward. Her revenge. It's coming, and when it arrives, no one will see it coming. Let me introduce you to Emma Carter, a woman whose life seemed like something out of a fairy tale until fate decided to rewrite the script in blood. Emma is married to Daniel Carter, a self-made billionaire CEO who built his empire from scratch. To the world, they're the perfect couple, wealthy, successful, and deeply in love. But behind closed doors, their marriage was far from the dream everyone imagined. Still, Emma never let doubt creep in, not even when Daniel started working late, more often, or seemed distant. After years of trying, the news of her triplet pregnancy felt like a miracle, a chance to rebuild their bond and start fresh. Little did she know, this blessing would become the catalyst for an unimaginable nightmare. The story begins on a crisp autumn morning where Emma finds herself standing atop a scenic cliff overlooking the ocean. It's supposed to be a peaceful day, a rare moment away from the chaos of Daniel's high-stakes business world and the pressures of preparing for motherhood. But peace turns into panic when she feels a pair of hands shoving her forward. For a split second, time freezes. The sound of crashing waves below becomes deafening, and her mind races with questions. Who could do such a thing? Why? Before she can process anything, gravity takes hold, pulling her toward certain death. Except, she doesn't die. Miraculously, Emma survives the fall. Bruised, broken, and barely conscious, she's found by a passerby who calls for help. Doctors later call her survival nothing short of a miracle, especially given her condition. Carrying triplets made the fall even riskier, yet somehow, both she and her babies pull through. As Emma lies in the hospital bed, hooked up to machines and surrounded by concerned faces, one thought consumes her. Who pushed me? And why would anyone want to hurt her and her unborn children? That question gnaws at her relentlessly, fueling a fire inside her that refuses to dim. Something tells her this wasn't random. Someone close to her had a hand in this. But who entered Daniel, the charming yet enigmatic husband who showers her with gifts and apologies during her recovery? At first glance, he seems genuinely devastated by the accident. He visits daily, holds her hand, and promises to find whoever is responsible. Yet, there's something off about him, something Emma can't quite put her finger on. His eyes dart away too quickly. His words feel rehearsed. And then there are the strange phone calls he thinks she doesn't hear, his hushed tone laced with urgency. Is it possible the man she loves is hiding something darker beneath his polished exterior? Or is she letting paranoia cloud her judgment? As Emma rests with these doubts, another character enters the picture. Sarah, Daniel's fiercely loyal executive assistant. On the surface, Sarah appears to be the epitome of professionalism, always 2 steps ahead and fiercely protective of Daniel's interests. But dig a little deeper, and cracks begin to show. There's an intensity to her loyalty, almost obsessive, that makes Emma uneasy. Did Sarah play a role in the attack, or is she merely caught in the crossfire of Daniel's manipulative games? The lines between ally and enemy blur, leaving Emma unsure of whom to trust. While physical wounds heal, emotional scars run deep. Emma's near-death experience leaves her changed, awakening a part of her she didn't know existed. Gone is the naive woman who blindly trusted those around her. In her place stands someone determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. With each passing day, her resolve hardens. She starts piecing together fragments of information, connecting dots others overlook. Late-night searches through Daniel's emails, discreet conversations with former employees, and cryptic messages left unanswered all lead her closer to a revelation that threatens to shatter everything she thought she knew. But here's the twist. Emma isn't just seeking justice anymore. Survival gave her clarity, and clarity brought rage. Rage over the life stolen from her before it even began. Rage over the calculated cruelty of whoever orchestrated this. Rage over the fragility of trust in a world where power corrupts absolutely. So, she decides to fight back, not as a victimized wife clinging to hope, but as a force to be reckoned with. Revenge becomes her mantra, her driving purpose. And oh, does she have plans? What exactly is she planning? That's the question. All we know is that Emma has been quietly gathering resources, building alliances, and studying every move Daniel and his inner circle make. Every smile she flashes hides a strategy. Every innocent question she asks plants seeds of doubt. She's playing the long game, biding her time until the moment is right. When that moment comes, it promises to be explosive. But here's the catch: revenge rarely goes according to plan. Even the best laid schemes can unravel in ways no one sees coming. And speaking of surprises, there's one final wrinkle in this tangled web. Just as Emma believes she's closing in on the truth, a new player emerges, throwing everything into disarray. This mysterious figure claims to have evidence that could expose the mastermind behind the cliff incident, but at a price. Suddenly, Emma must decide how far she's willing to go to get the answers she craves. Will she sacrifice her morals for vengeance? Or will she find another way to reclaim her life without losing herself in the process? As the pieces fall into place, tension builds to a fever pitch. Friends become foes, secrets spill like poison, and loyalties are tested in ways no one saw coming. The line between hero and villain blurs, leaving viewers questioning who truly deserves redemption, who deserves punishment. By the time the dust settles, nothing will ever be the same again, so buckle up, because this story is far from over. Emma may have survived the fall, but the battle for truth and retribution is only beginning. Who pushed her off that cliff? What dark secrets lie buried in Daniel's past? And most importantly, how far will Emma go to make them pay? Stay tuned, because the answers might just leave you speechless. To understand how Emma ended up on that cliff, we need to rewind a little. Her life before the fall wasn't perfect, but it was stable, or so she thought. Daniel had always been ambitious, the kind of man who thrived under pressure and lived for his next big win. When they first met, Emma admired his drive. He was magnetic, confident, and seemed to have the world at his feet. But as the years passed, cracks began to show in their marriage. His late nights turned into all-nighters, his promises of family time evaporated, and his patience grew thinner with every passing month. Still, Emma stayed loyal, believing that deep down he loved her. That belief kept her anchored until the day she found out about the triplets. The pregnancy should have been a turning point, a chance to bring them closer together. Instead, it became the catalyst for everything falling apart. From the moment Emma told Daniel the news, something shifted. At first he acted thrilled, showering her with gifts and planning extravagant baby showers. But behind closed doors, his behavior changed. He became distant, almost resentful, snapping at her over small things and disappearing for hours without explanation. Friends chalked it up to stress after all. Running a multi-billion-dollar company while preparing for fatherhood would be overwhelming for anyone. But Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something darker was brewing. Then there was Sarah, Daniel's ever-present assistant. Emma had never liked her much, though she tried to keep things civil for Daniel's sake. There was just something about Sarah's unwavering devotion to him that felt off. She hovered too close, knew too much, and seemed to anticipate his needs better than Emma ever could. Over time, Emma started noticing subtle signs, a lingering glance between them. Hushed conversations cut short when she entered the room. Was she being paranoid, or was there more to their relationship than met the eye? The question gnawed at her, planting seeds of doubt that refused to die. As Emma pieces these memories together during her recovery, a chilling realization takes shape. The attack wasn't random. Someone wanted her gone, and not just her, but her babies too. The thought makes her stomach churn. Who could hate her enough to destroy an entire family? And why now, when she finally had something worth fighting for? These questions haunt her, driving her to dig deeper into Daniel's life. What she uncovers is both shocking and heartbreaking. Through careful sleuthing, Emma discovers discrepancies in Daniel's financial records, large sums of money funneled into offshore accounts, transactions timed suspiciously around key moments in their marriage. At first, she assumes it's business-related. After all, CEOs often engage in shady dealings to protect their empires. But then she stumbles upon something far more personal, evidence suggesting Daniel has been secretly grooming Sarah as his successor, not just professionally, but personally. Emails hint at plans for a future together, one where Emma doesn't exist. It's clear now Daniel sees her as expendable, a liability standing in the way of his ambitions. And Sarah, she's not just his assistant anymore, she's his accomplice. But here's where things get complicated. As Emma delves further, she learns that Sarah might not be entirely willing. Text messages reveal a woman torn between loyalty and fear, manipulated by Daniel's charm and threats alike. Did Sarah push Emma off the cliff under duress? Or did she act out of jealousy, desperate to claim Daniel for herself? The truth remains elusive, adding layers of complexity to an already tangled web. One thing is certain, both of them betrayed her trust in ways she never imagined possible. Meanwhile, Emma's own transformation continues. Gone is the soft-spoken wife who once avoided confrontation at all costs. In her place stands a strategist, meticulously plotting her revenge. She starts small, testing boundaries. A leaked email here, a planted rumor. They're each move designed to destabilize Daniel's empire and expose his secrets. With every success, her confidence grows. Soon, she's orchestrating elaborate schemes, leveraging connections she didn't know she had, and exploiting weaknesses she's spent months uncovering. Yet, even as she gains ground, guilt nags at her. Is this who she wants to become? A mirror image of the people who hurt her. Amidst all this turmoil, another subplot unfolds. Emma's relationship with her unborn children. Throughout her investigation, she finds solace in talking to them, imagining their tiny faces and dreaming of the lives they'll lead. They remind her why she's fighting, not just for justice, but for love. This connection keeps her grounded. preventing her from crossing lines she swore she wouldn't. Still, the weight of her actions takes its toll. Sleepless nights are filled with visions of what could go wrong, and the constant fear of discovery looms over her like a storm cloud. Every step forward feels like walking a tightrope, one misstep away from disaster. Just as Emma thinks she's closing in on her goal, a new complication arises. Enter Michael, a former employee of Daniel's company who claims to have damning evidence against him. At first, Emma is skeptical. Too many lies, too much betrayal, but Michael proves his sincerity by revealing details only an insider would know. Together, they form an uneasy alliance, united by their shared desire to take Daniel down. However, working with Michael comes at a cost. He pushes her to escalate her plans faster than she's comfortable with, urging her to strike before Daniel catches wind of their efforts. Torn between caution and urgency, Emma must decide whether to trust him completely or maintain control of her own destiny. Tension reaches a breaking point when Emma discovers that Daniel is onto her. Somehow, he's pieced together fragments of her schemes and is actively working to counter them. Worse still, he suspects Michael's involvement and has sent private investigators to dig into his past. Time is running out. If Emma doesn't act soon, everything she's worked for will crumble. But acting rashly risks exposing her hand, endangering her babies. The stakes have never been higher. In a climactic showdown, Emma confronts Daniel face armed with irrefutable proof of his crimes. The scene is electric, charged with raw emotion as years of pent-up anger and betrayal spill over. For the first time, Daniel drops his polished facade, revealing the ruthless manipulator beneath. He tries to bargain, offering her half of his fortune if she walks away. But Emma isn't interested in money. All she wants is accountability for him to admit what he's done and face the consequences. Will he break under pressure, or will he double down, dragging everyone else down with him? As the confrontation builds to its peak, unexpected twists throw everything into chaos. Loyalties shift, alliances fracture, and long-buried secrets come to light. Just when it seems like Emma has the upper hand, a shocking revelation threatens to undo everything. Who can she really trust? And will her quest for vengeance ultimately cost her more than she's willing to lose? The answers lie just around the corner, but getting there will require sacrifices no one saw coming. Just as Emma thought she had Daniel cornered, the unexpected happens. Sarah bursts into the room, visibly shaken but determined. She holds a flash drive in her hand, claiming it contains evidence that could destroy Daniel once and for all. For a moment everyone freezes him. Daniel, and even Michael, who's been lurking just outside the door. The tension is suffocating. No one speaks, each person weighing their next move like pieces on a chessboard. Then Sarah drops the bombshell. She recorded everything. Every secret meeting, every incriminating conversation, every detail of the plan to push Emma off the cliff. It's all there. But here's the twist. Sarah didn't act alone. Someone else was pulling the strings behind the scenes. Daniel's face goes pale as he realizes what this means. He starts yelling, accusing Sarah of betrayal, but his words fall flat. The truth is out now, and there's no going back. Emma feels a surge of vindication, but also confusion. If Sarah wasn't calling all the shots, then who was? Before anyone can answer, Michael steps forward, his expression unreadable. "It's me," he says quietly, shocking everyone in the room. He explains how years ago, Daniel sabotaged his career, leaving him broke and humiliated. Michael has been waiting for revenge ever since, using Emma's plight as the perfect opportunity to strike. His alliance with her wasn't entirely selfless, it was strategic. Yet, despite his ulterior motives, he insists he never intended to harm Emma or her babies. In fact, he claims he wanted to protect them from Daniel's greed. The revelation leaves Emma reeling. Everything she thought she knew has shifted again. Was Michael truly helping her, or was she just another pawn in his game? As much as she wants to hate him, part of her understands his pain. After all, they've both been victims of Daniel's manipulation. Still, trust doesn't come easily anymore, not after everything she's endured. With the flash drive in hand and the weight of the world on her shoulders, Emma makes a decision. She won't let anger dictate her actions. Instead, she chooses justice over vengeance, knowing it's the only way to reclaim her life without losing herself completely. What follows is a whirlwind of consequences. Emma turns the evidence over to the authorities, ensuring Daniel faces legal repercussions for his crimes. Charges pile up: attempted murder, embezzlement, fraud, and soon the media descends upon the scandal, exposing every dirty secret of Daniel's empire. His carefully constructed facade crumbles, leaving him disgraced and imprisoned. Sarah, meanwhile, strikes a plea deal in exchange for testifying against Daniel. Though some might see her as complicit, Emma recognizes the fear that drove her choices. In the end, forgiveness becomes a theme neither of them expected but desperately needed. As for Michael, Emma decides to cut ties. While grateful for his help, she knows their paths must diverge. He disappears from her life as quickly as he entered it, leaving behind only a note thanking her for giving him closure. It's bittersweet, but Emma accepts it. Some wounds run too deep to heal fully, and she's learned the hard way that relying on others often leads to disappointment. What matters now is moving forward for herself and her children. Months later, Emma stands on a different cliff, this time holding her newborn triplets in her arms. The wind kisses her cheeks, gentle and warm, unlike the icy gusts that nearly claimed her life. She looks out at the horizon, feeling a sense of peace she hasn't known in years. Her journey hasn't been easy, but it's taught her resilience, strength, and the importance of staying true to herself. Revenge may have fueled her initially, but love carried her through. Love for her babies, for the future she fought so hard to secure, and for the woman she's become. In the months that follow, Emma rebuilds her life piece by piece. She writes a memoir about her experience, not for fame or fortune, but to inspire others facing similar struggles. The book becomes a bestseller, sparking conversations about trust, betrayal, and the power of second chances. People call her brave, but Emma knows bravery isn't about being fearless, it's about finding courage when fear threatens to consume you. That lesson stays with her long after the headlines fade. One evening, as she tucks her babies into bed, Emma reflects on how far she's come. From the edge of death to the brink of renewal, her story is proof that even in the darkest moments, light can break through. She doesn't dwell on the past anymore. Instead, she focuses on building a brighter future, a future filled with laughter, joy, and endless possibilities. Because sometimes, survival isn't just about living, it's about thriving. And thrive she does, proving to herself and the world that no matter how many times life pushes you down, you always have the power to rise again.